All right, welcome back. So today, I wouldn't say is a good day. It's first video of 2022, and this thing is on my bench today. If you guys don't know what this thing is, it is my Kraton 8S, the first one I owned, and did a lot of modifications to it. Pulled the electronics out of it, got all the motor, all the big block stuff out of it, because it's my M2C racing Kraton 8S, and this truck started making me real mad and starting to hate running the Kratons all the time. My stock Kraton seems to perform pretty well. I do like the Outcast way better than the Kraton platform. And I was building this to set it up for Big Bertha, my Send It jump. So I put an M2C chassis in it and added all the parts that, you know, I was advised that it would need from M2C to make this thing strong and stop breaking. And this was before M2C came out with axles and drive cups and a bunch of other stuff. This is when the chassis was first released. And man, every time I jumped this thing, I either broke a control arm. It ended my day so many times, and it was really upsetting me to bring this thing out. And I don't give up on RC, you know, very often. Or give up on an RC very often. I usually just keep going, keep fixing the issues, and just keep going. But this thing, it was becoming hopeless, because once I tuned down the jumps, even off small jumps, I was breaking wing mounts, wing supports in the back, just snapping them off on, you know, very mild crashes. I would either have to grab the stock Kraton or the stock, you know, ready to run Outcast with my Coke can motor in it, and run that for the day. And when that had issues, then I'd go grab an X-Max and finish out my day with an X-Max. So anytime I would bring this thing out, I'd have to bring a couple other RCs just to get, you know, the day shot for a video for you guys. And it just became too much to run this thing. So I got to the point where I was just going to rip out the electronics, throw the front diff back on it, and between these stupid diff cups coming loose, or these pivot balls coming loose, or pillow balls coming loose every time I ran it, I stole the steering links off this thing and put it on my which reminds me, I gotta find them, but I put it on my my EXB Outcast roller, because that one had a ton of slop in it. So I definitely got to find what I did with those steering links so that I can get this. The plan is today to get this thing put back together. And I'm not going to do anything special with it. I'm going to throw a Spectrum motor in it. I'm going to throw a Spectrum ESC in it. And I'm going to start back from basically the basics. One thing I am going to do with this chassis, because I added these supports here from M2C, I feel that maybe these support, that there's too much weight in this thing, and that's what's killing this RC. Anytime on a bad landing, I just break something. I don't run perfect, you know, we all try to, but you just have those bad landings off a jump. You either hit it wrong, run out of wheel speed, whatever it is, you end up having a bad landing, and it's the durability of the RC and the weight of the RC that's going to determine whether it's going to survive that crash or it's going to break something. And my luck, it was just breaking stuff nonstop. It was nickel and diming me to death. It came to the point where I didn't have a wing for this thing for almost 2 months, because I bought everything that was up on eBay. Arrma didn't have any. I just didn't have any part support for it anymore. So I got to the point where I couldn't buy any more control arms, I couldn't buy any more wings, and I was just done with it, done with this whole platform. So I was just going to sell it as a roller. Well, today I'm going to put it back together and at least get it running, because it's just sitting around and I'm tired of the thing sitting around. So I hate RCs apart, and since I have the time with all the rain that we have, I figure I get it put back together. So I got some electronics. I did pull out the receiver out of it because I needed it for the Outcast EXB roller. So I stuck the electronics in that thing and called it a day. So today I'm going to get a 160 amp ESC put on it, get the electronics back in to see if, you know, at least I can get, and this is, I think this is out of one of my low-seas, because this is a 780 kV Coke can motor. So I'll put some gear into it. It's still going to be a pretty good size motor, considering I think this came with a 1215 or a 1250 kV motor, which I think I have one of those as well. I'm not sure if I have the, here's the 2050, here's the 160 amp. Yeah, here's a 1250 kV motor. Honestly, I could probably stick the 1250 back in, but I'm going to go with a little bigger one, something that's not going to overheat from the weight. This thing should handle anything I can throw at it. So I'm going to get that put into it. I definitely got to find the steering links. I forgot about that. I have them somewhere. So we're going to get into that right now. So first thing I need to do is pull off all these weights on the chassis. That's going to be the first thing. And remember, when you pull an RC apart, throw all the parts into a container. I had this with it. I know this is the hardware I took out with it. And then the steering links, as you see, I put the hardware back in it. So I'm not missing hardware to the thing. I was missing this motor mount slide thing. So I went, you know, to my box of parts and found a small block one and a big block one. And I do have a PPS one as well. So we should be able to get that fixed. I think something like this. I don't know if this is the one. Yeah, this looks like a small block mount. Honestly, the bolt pattern's too close. So I'm going to look for the right mount, because I think this is for the 1250 kV, and I need the big block mount, which is going to be the PPS mount that I have somewhere. So let me get that. We're going to get these off and get the steering links on, slap the front end together so at least it's a roller, then we'll start putting electronics in it. We'll be right back. Alright, so here's the PPS mount. Hopefully this is the one. This might be big block to small block mount. This could be the wrong mount. Yeah, see, that'll work. Let's see if this fits onto this thing. Yeah, this should work right here. This is the big block bolt pattern. Which looked like that'll work, and I should be able to get it in there. And then I did locate. Here's the links. Arrma had sent me the replacement links for all the slop that's in the end of these things right here. And they had just as much play after getting one of them rebuilt, and I was like, that's ridiculous. So I kind of just stopped there and put everything aside and just was a little frustrated with it. So we got that. We should have the links for it. We got the mount for it. We got the hardware for it. So I should have enough parts to throw this thing at least back together with some different electronics and different parts that I've taken off of it. This is why I tell people not to strip down an RC and then just stop on it, because you'll be left with a situation like this where I have, you know, $1,000 tied up into this thing, $1,500 tied up into this thing, and I can't use it. So, and I still might get rid of it. So we're going to, I don't think I have to pull anything out because I should just be able to hold those, I'm hoping, with a wrench. Just use pliers. Now they supply all this stuff separate, M2C did, and I just assumed it was better to add this stuff. Its strength was better, and now I have my doubts. Maybe the chassis will perform better now. I don't know. Wow. All right, let me get these. There's 4 back here, and there's 3 up here. Let me get those taken off. We'll be right back. All right, so glad I turned off the camera because that was no easy task. I did put Loctite on them like the instructions had said, but here's the 2 front and rear supports, which really makes the chassis strong, but I feel it adds a ton of weight. Now it does have this brace in here, and I don't know if I should bolt that back in or just remove that one and just run the M2C thin aluminum chassis, or leave that one in there. I mean, it's still heavy and I've got nothing in this thing, but I don't know if this one's worth getting rid of. So there's a short screw, and I think this one came installed, and you had the choice of adding the other ones, but I can't remember. See those 2 little bolts? I just feel like I should get all this stuff out of here. See, here's another one. See, this does have a little flex to it, but this is what might be adding support. I wonder if you just put this into a stock Kraton chassis and drill some holes, if this will stiffen that up enough. See, that's already a lot lighter. See, I'm going to try running no braces in this. I just don't feel I need any of that. I mean, this isn't that much heavier, but I mean, if I have an issue, I guess I can always hammer it straight and bolt this thing back in there. But there is no top support brace, you know, on this thing. And I am still running, this is the original one with the 1-piece. This isn't the one, you know, the 1.5 Kraton. This is the original OG with the single that goes up here. And as you see, I haven't bent my rod yet because I've had this big chassis in here, but I'm just breaking everything around it, and it's just no fun to run that way. So let me do some research on that brace right there from M2C and see if I can leave this one out as well. I know I definitely can leave these big weights, and they're not even that heavy. It's just all this little stuff just adds up compared to the stock chassis. And you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a support brace here, there's a support brace over here as well. I think I'm going to leave the ones right and left. It's just the one down the center I'm gonna look at some videos and maybe make some calls and find out. We'll be right back. All right. So the research I've done, it looks like everybody runs, well, from what I can see, everybody runs all the braces like I was doing. But I'm just not doing that. Looking at some of the others, it looks like people are running it like this and leaving out just this brace in the rear, because this is a big bending point up here for this short brace bolting to your transmission right here. And I haven't broke this where a lot of other people have, and I'm wondering if I haven't broke it because I've had all the braces on this. So the way I'm looking at it is, if I break this and have to go to the M2C brace ends to the transmission, I'd be better off buying this little piece than I would be buying control arms for the rear and the front and a wing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave both those off. Right around the transmission area, when you have this brace in, or any of the braces in, say this brace is in, the biggest thing I notice is you see these little divots around the gear in here. When you get rocks or gravel in here, it starts grinding on your gears. And I'm thinking, if I don't have any obstructions here for that, if I take all these braces out, then the rocks will just kind of roll around and fall back out. Or I can shake them out with the body, because right now, when I have all the braces in here and I turn it upside down to shake it because I hear the gears grinding, the rocks just get stuck all around these support brackets, and I literally got to stop, take the body off, and start picking out the rocks and grabbing them with needle nose to get them out of there. That also gets irritating. But with that said, I'm going to get this transmission put back in there. O-rings on it, which is good. I pick up that rod, can't get that rod in. Why is that one not sitting down flat? Oh, I see. It's machined up for that brace. Well, that's unfortunate. This one bolt here is drilled for that right here, without this front section on there. So you have to run this brace. You have no choice, but you have to run this brace to get the motor mount to sit flat. So the minimum, you have to run this brace. And that's what I remember Deontay saying when I got this kit, is that one of these braces you had to pretty much run like there was a minimum. Which is going to be this brace. Which means the rocks are going to get jammed. But it is what it is. I definitely want the motor mount sitting flat, or the transmission here. Makes sense now. I haven't worked on this platform in so long. I'm a little rusty on it. I mean, I could pretty much work on an Outcast or a Kraton blindfolded because I was taking them apart and putting them together so much because of all the damage. Right, where'd the tire go? Things are looking up. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is get this assembly on. Red container. Oh, here it is. I knew I didn't take much off of this. At least the roller. At least these motor mount deals come with hardware, which shout out to PPS. I think I need the little short stubbies. Alright, maybe I should have slid the motor on first, but whatever. That's why I left the motor mount loose. I know I have to hold the front end to get these links off. Go. There we go. Leave that like that for now till we can get the gear put on. Those will run over there. There we go. I got to get the other steering link put on, and then start doing the electronics. So I think the next thing we're going to do is end the video here because it's getting too long. And we're going to continue on with this build in the next part. And that we should be able to finish it up. But there we go, guys. Let me know what you think about the M2C chassis, getting it back on the road. Let me know if that's something you would do, or you would just sell it, like I'm still thinking about doing, just offing this thing, but offing it as a running truck. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll check you guys out in my next video. Thanks for watching.